How are rising interest rates affecting buyers and sellers? Give it up for broker realtor owner at Keller Williams Realty, North County, Mike Litton.
There he is, Mike Litton. How you
Hey,
doing,
buddy.
my friend?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. A lot going on. Wow. You brought some data in today that is, we've been hearing it, we've been talking about it, but when you look at the graphs, tell us what you brought in today.
Well, what's happening is we're seeing a trend, and you know me about trends, right? And what we're seeing is we're literally seeing, because interest rates are rising, home prices are rising. So you have three graphs. One is interest rates over the last year, which have risen quite a bit, right? 3.32 to 4.10.
Let's take a look at that graph, and you can see there, boom.
Yeah,
big
and it's
uptick.
A $500,000 mortgage now costs $220 more per month. That's affecting people in terms of their ability to afford a home. So cost of ownership, right? And their qualifications. The other thing is, the next graph is median home price. And so median home price is going up, interest rates are going up.
That median home price graph there you can see is the home prices are steadily increasing, so that looks healthy.
Exactly.
But you're saying compounded with the interest rates,
right?
It starts to become a problem.
And then you pile on one more thing. You pile on the fact that third graph, which is median income, which just is not keeping pace by any stretch of the imagination.
It's flat,
yeah.
basically.
And then to add to it, the Fed's raising interest rates, which means consumer debt cost is going up. So one of the things that we're doing is we're suggesting that we're working with sellers, and we're counseling sellers on the fact that, yes, home prices are going up. However, they need to be prepared for the fact that we're running into an affordability issue. And so they need to be prepared that they may need to jump in, and they may need to help a buyer with their closing costs, because the buyer may need to take some of the money they were going to use for closing costs and use that to pay down their consumer debt.
Mike, are you saying that you are anticipating a shift from the current seller's market that we're in to more of a buyer's market?
No. I'm seeing a seller's market continue because inventory is so low. In Escondido alone, we're down 1,000 units in inventory historically. So it's not, you have a couple of things happening. You have the surge we've talked about before. When interest rates go up, people get off the fence, right? We've talked about this a lot for years. When interest rates go up, people get off the fence because they were waiting for them to go to 2% for a 30-year fixed rate, right? So people get off the fence and they jump in. You have a surge. So you already have the people that were already in. Then you have the people that were fence setters, we call them fence setters, that are now in. Here's the thing. When you combine all those with the fact that we're so low in inventory, you are going to push prices higher. What we're trying to explain to sellers and counseling sellers on is be prepared, even though you're going to get a really high price right now, and right now may be the perfect time to sell, you need to be prepared that you may have to jump in with a buyer and help them a little bit. We had a client whose home we listed and sold, and we also were representing them on the purchase side. Interest rates went up, and I kept asking them, did you lock your loan? Did you lock your loan? Did you lock your loan? By the way, if you're listening and you're currently in escrow, lock your loan. You cannot put a price tag on peace of mind. There's no way. So they didn't. They finally called their lender, and their payment had gone up quite a bit. It was about $140 to the monthly payment. They were devastated because they were operating on a budget. They have two little ones at home. They're a two-income family, but they're so careful with their money, and they're so careful with their budget. Everybody is. You have to be careful. Well, they called me and they were devastated. So I get on the phone with the lender, and I said, open up the file. Talk to me about where they are with their consumer debt. What does this cost? What does this cost? So we talked about car loans. We talked about credit cards, the whole thing. They took a small amount of the money they were going to put, extra money they were going to put down on the house, and paid off their consumer debt, saved them $700 a month to their total payment.
Gotcha.
They could not have been happier if they tried. If you remember, it went up by 140 and they were devastated, right? We saved them $700 total by swapping small, higher interest rate, higher payment for lower interest rate, longer term, right? So we swapped out 4% for 9%, that kind of thing. Swapped them out, and longer amortization, and we were able to save them a ton of money.
So this is about just being smart at the point of sale, essentially, because what I'm hearing is that you're saying to sellers, like, don't kick a buyer to the curb over something small, help them out at the last second, because you're still getting the meat of the market as a seller?
Well, I wouldn't say last second. What I'm saying is be prepared ahead of time. So in
Gotcha.
other words, if you're on the market for say $700,000, be prepared that you may have to put $10,000, $15,000 in to help as a credit through escrow to help the buyer with their closing costs, because they may need that to replace that money they were going to use on closing costs where they're paying off their consumer debt.
I see. So just basically be prepared, not necessarily last second, but be prepared to make a little bit of a move. Because sellers have sort of gotten this idea that they have the only house for sale in San Diego. Right?
Absolutely.
A lot of them have that mindset.
Absolutely.
And that, well, gosh, someone's going to buy this for $1 bajillion. And what I'm hearing from you is we need to shift that just a tad now in the other direction. Not that we were going swinging all the way from a seller's market to a buyer's market, but that we need to just say, hey, buyers are getting really kicked right now. They really are. They're getting just worked over from every direction. And the graphs show you that.
Absolutely.
They're not making any more money, but the housing is getting so much more expensive from both directions, from borrowing the money to the prices themselves. So the sellers are benefiting.
Absolutely.
But maybe give a little bit back.
Exactly. And if you're prepared ahead of time, it's not a surprise, right? So we're talking to sellers before they ever list their home, and we're saying, look, be prepared for this, right? And so then they're not surprised. And then it's not last minute, and it's not something where they feel like it's overwhelming.
Okay. So is this the first step, Mike, towards a more balanced market, do you think?
Yes, it is. It's just we don't have the inventory that we need to create a balanced market. We are so short on inventory, and we have such demand. We have buyer demand that's historically higher than normal, right? So when you have that offset, that imbalance, you're not going to have a balanced market.
It just can't balance itself out.
It can't right now.
Okay.
It will eventually, but it can't right now.
What do you think of this summer? Are there a lot of people saying they're going to put it on the market, put their homes on the market this summer?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something that's going to affect the market. Sellers have this idea that they can just throw it on the market and that buyers are going to buy, and they're going to buy top of the market. Sellers need to understand, and we're counseling them, we're counseling our sellers. One of the things that they need to be aware of is buyers are more picky today than they've ever been. They're picky today, right? They're more discerning. And what they're doing is they're making sellers come to them. So one of the things that we're counseling sellers on is make sure that you do the things that you need to do. Make sure you have your curb appeals where it needs to be. Make sure that you declutter. Make sure that you paint. I have a report called The 7 Secrets of Selling Your Home for Top Dollar. Anybody can request it. All they have to do is email me. I'm sure my email's on the screen.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's magic. It's magic. But I'll be happy to send it to them. And what it boils down to is these are the things that you need to make sure that you do so that you can sell your home for top dollar in any market.
Okay, fantastic stuff, Mike Litton. A couple shout outs.
Yeah.
Want to give today with the SOS nonprofit?
It's Spirit of Sharing. SOS is a nonprofit that gives 100% of whatever you give to them. They give 100% to military families in need. We have a collection box at our office in Escondido. I'm sure the address is on the screen. You can certainly call me. You can go to my website. I'm sure my website's on the screen too. It's amazing how that works. But we have a collection box, and we're collecting household items, things for military families that are coming back from being deployed, and they need these things. I mean, we're collecting diapers, we're collecting canned food, we're collecting furniture, we're collecting everything you can think of that military families in need would need coming back.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing. The other one is we have a golf tournament coming up. As you know, I'm on the board of directors, proud to be on the board of directors of the American Heritage Charter School System. And part of that, one of the schools is Escondido Charter High School, where my kids go to school. The Parent Volunteer Organization, which my wife is the president of this year, love you, honey, their biggest fundraiser all year is a golf tournament. This year it's on March 24th at Eagle Crest Golf Course. For more information, you can email me. Also, I'm sure on the screen will be www.echspvo.org. You can go there and get all the information you need to sign up. We're looking for golfers, we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for anybody that wants to support one of the true jewels in San Diego County. This is one of the top-ranked school systems, this American Heritage Charter School System, one of the top-ranked in the entire country. In fact, one of their schools a few years ago was actually awarded #1 charter school in all of California.
That's an incredible accomplishment.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
and
Could not
great-
be more proud of it if I tried.
A great opportunity to support a great organization like
Absolutely.
that. Mr. Litton, thank you so much for your time today, man.
to see you, bud.
Really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks so much.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.